What if the very concept of civilization never existed? Imagine a world without written laws, the wheel, or even the idea of time itself. This dystopian vision might have been our reality if not for the ancient land of Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. Nestled between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, this region birthed the very foundation of modern society. From the dawn of writing to the first codes of law, Mesopotamia was a hotbed of innovation that shaped the course of human history. But how did this seemingly barren landscape give rise to such a monumental civilization? And what drove the people of Mesopotamia to create the building blocks of the world as we know it? As we journey through the sands of time, we'll uncover the rise, achievements, and enduring legacy of this ancient powerhouse. Long before humans ever walked its fertile plains, Mesopotamia was a land of striking contrasts, where nature's raw power sculpted a landscape of both abundance and harsh extremes. This stretch of land, whose name means between rivers, was positioned between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers and defined by its unique geography. The two rivers carved a lush valley through the otherwise arid landscape, their annual floods depositing rich silt that transformed the land into a fertile crescent. Yet, these same floods were as destructive as they were life-giving, capable of washing away anything in their path. The surrounding environment added to the region's complexity. To the north and east, rugged mountains loomed, their peaks a striking contrast to the flat, sprawling plains below. To the south, the land gradually gave way to marshes and deserts, where the rivers lost their momentum and the soil turned saline. This diverse topography created microclimates, each with its own challenges and resources, setting the stage for the eventual rise of distinct cultures and innovations. Before the rise of civilization, Mesopotamia was a blank canvas, waiting for the touch of human ingenuity. Its unpredictable environment was both a challenge and an opportunity, a land that would one day be shaped by those daring enough to understand and harness its potential. As the fertile lands of Mesopotamia began to attract early settlers, the seeds of civilization were sown. But how did this diverse, challenging landscape give rise to some of humanity's greatest achievements? The transformation from small, nomadic groups to complex societies was a gradual evolution, driven by the unique environment of Mesopotamia and its inherent challenges. This journey began with the Sumerians, whose innovations laid the foundation for everything that followed. Imagine a world where the written word didn't exist, where knowledge relied solely on oral tradition. The Sumerians, arriving in southern Mesopotamia around the late 4th millennium BCE, forever changed this reality. Settling in cities like Uruk, Eridu, and they transformed scattered villages into thriving city-states. Driven by the need to document trade, law, and religious practices, they invented cuneiform writing, one of the earliest forms of recorded communication. This innovation left a legacy that shaped the region for millennia. But the Sumerians' achievements went beyond writing. They also constructed massive ziggurats, towering terrace structures that dominated their cities. These architectural wonders symbolized their deep religious devotion and the essential role that temples played in organizing and sustaining their society. The Sumerians laid the groundwork, but it was the Akkadians who took the concept of civilization to the next level. Around 2334 BCE, Sargon of Akkad rose to power, creating one of the world's first empires by uniting the fractious city-states under a single rule. What gave Sargon the strength to achieve what others could not? The Akkadians, a Semitic-speaking people, built upon Sumerian advances but introduced their own language and administrative systems. Their empire, which spread across much of Mesopotamia, flourished for over a century before internal strife and external pressures, such as invasions by the Gudians, led to its decline. The Akkadian legacy, particularly their use of a Semitic language that evolved into Babylonian and Assyrian, persisted long after the empire's fall. Following the Akkadian decline, Babylon emerged as the region's new power center. By the early 2nd millennium BCE, it wasn't just another city-state. Under King Hammurabi, who reigned from 1792 to 1750 BCE, it became the heart of a sprawling empire. Hammurabi's most famous contribution, his Code of Laws, set a precedent for justice and governance. Imagine living in a world without a written legal code. Hammurabi's laws brought order to a chaotic society and reinforce the king's authority. Under Nebuchadnezzar II, Babylon reached its zenith, with grand structures like the Ishtar Gate symbolizing its might. While Babylon rose in the south, the Assyrians were establishing a mighty empire in the north. Known for their military prowess and sophisticated administrative systems, the Assyrians created one of the largest empires of the ancient world. How did they manage such vast territories with a relatively small population? Through a combination of brutal military campaigns and efficient governance. The Assyrians weren't just warriors, they were also scholars, as evidenced by the vast library of Ashurbanipal. Despite their dominance, their empire fell in 609 BCE, overwhelmed by the combined forces of the Babylonians and Medes. Each of these civilizations, Sumerian, Akkadian, Babylonian, and Assyrian, left a permanent mark on Mesopotamia and the world beyond. Their innovations in writing, law, architecture, and governance laid the foundation for future civilizations. As one empire rose and another fell, they collectively built a legacy of resilience, innovation, and the enduring human spirit. How did this land of contrasts and challenges become the cradle of civilization? The answer lies in the extraordinary achievements born from the fertile plains of the region between the rivers. So what was it like to live in Mesopotamia, where the first cities rose and civilizations took root? At the heart of their society was a strict social hierarchy. Kings, often seen as divine representatives, ruled with the support of powerful priests, who connected the people to the gods. Merchants and artisans thrived in the bustling markets, trading goods and crafting the tools of everyday life, while farmers and laborers worked the land to sustain the city-states. Even those at the bottom of the social ladder, like slaves, played essential roles in maintaining the economy. Religion wasn't just a part of life in Mesopotamia, it was the foundation. The gods were believed to control every aspect of the world, from the flooding of the rivers to the fates of men. Temples dominated the skyline, serving not only as places of worship, but also as economic centers. How did these beliefs shape their culture? The Epic of Gilgamesh, one of the earliest literary works, explores profound themes like mortality and divine justice, reflecting the deep spiritual beliefs that guided Mesopotamian life. But religion wasn't the only driving force behind Mesopotamian culture. This was a society of innovators. They developed cuneiform, the world's first written language, allowing them to record everything from laws to epic stories. Their advancements in mathematics and astronomy weren't just intellectual pursuits. They were practical tools that helped them manage agricultural cycles and navigate the complexities of city life. How did these achievements come together to create a lasting legacy? In Mesopotamia, society and culture were deeply intertwined, each innovation and belief system building upon the last. The result was a civilization that not only survived, but thrived, leaving a mark on history that continues to influence us today. As we reflect on the remarkable society and culture of Mesopotamia, one might wonder, how have the innovations and beliefs of this ancient civilization continued to shape our world? The legacy of Mesopotamia is colossal and wide-ranging, extending beyond the borders of its ancient cities and into the cornerstones of modern civilization. Consider the gift of writing, one of Mesopotamia's most enduring contributions. The invention of cuneiform didn't just change how people communicated, it transformed how they thought, recorded, and passed down knowledge. Without this innovation, how would history have been documented or laws codified? This ancient writing system paved the way for literature, education, and legal frameworks, establishing a tradition of record-keeping that persists to this day. Then there's a matter of law. Hammurabi's Code is perhaps the most famous example of Mesopotamian legal ingenuity. These laws, carved into stone, were among the first to establish principles of justice that resonates through the ages. How many of today's legal systems can trace their roots back to these ancient codes? The concept of justice, responsibility, and fairness found in Hammurabi's Code echo in modern courts and legal traditions worldwide. Mesopotamians were also pioneers in mathematics and astronomy, developing systems that continue to influence us. The 60-minute hour and the 360-degree circle, both originating in Mesopotamia, are essential to how we measure time and space today. Imagine a world without these fundamental concepts. How different would our daily lives be? Their approach to science laid the groundwork for countless future discoveries, impacting fields as diverse as architecture, engineering, and navigation. And what about their myths and religious beliefs? The stories and epic tales from Mesopotamia such as the Epic of Gilgamesh, have left a lasting imprint on the literature and religious narratives of later cultures. These stories explored universal themes, life, death, the divine, that continue to captivate and inspire us. In every aspect of our lives, from how we govern ourselves to how we understand the world around us, the legacy of Mesopotamia endures. This ancient civilization, born in a land of contrast and challenges, laid the foundation for so much of what we take for granted today. How did a civilization that rose over 5,000 years ago leave such a lasting impression? The answer lies in their relentless quest to understand, innovate, and order the world, a quest that still drives us forward today. As we journey through the legacy of Mesopotamia, one thing becomes clear. This ancient civilization laid the foundation for much of what we consider fundamental to modern life. But how did a society born from the unpredictable floods of the Tigris and Euphrates rivers manage to shape the world so profoundly? The answer lies in their relentless drive to innovate, adapt, and explore the mysteries of existence. What do you think is the most impactful legacy of Mesopotamia that still resonates today? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's continue this conversation, and be sure to subscribe to this channel for more fascinating content.